I gotta unmute us.
Oh,
Good
well,
afternoon, everybody.
good morning to us. We
Yeah,
still
you
in
still
Central
out there.
Time.
Yeah,
Y'all,
you out there. You an hour behind us.
yeah,
Yeah.
you still peeping into my beauty rest.
Oh, okay. We all need to get some beauty rest now.
Heard that
Tired.
y'all got some fall going on over there in the great state of Georgia.
Fog is always foggy here. This time of the year is always foggy. The
No, I'm talking about fall, the
fall.
actual fall.
Oh,
Yes,
fall.
of
Yeah,
fall.
yeah. It's kind of chilly.
Man,
It's kind of
it's still 96 degrees here in the afternoon. My yard has taken a beating and everything, you know.
well. It's always gonna be in October. It's chilly in the mornings and hot as hell in the afternoons. It don't get cold here until January, February. So
Oh, okay.
it's gonna be like that. We got some interesting subjects today. Robert is off and taking care of his family, and it's just the two of us today. So we're gonna see if we can touch on a couple of subjects. One was what was it? Um, Let me pull them up. Um, Message to the black man, and that was where President Obama, the last couple of days, has been on the campaign trail giving a message to the black man, and also Magic Johnson. And you had some people that criticized what they were saying, but I think that it was needed. I do. I think that it's needed because we are a lazy group of people. You got to that don't vote, especially black men. And you know, enough of us do. I mean, not enough of us, but some of us do. But it needs to be more because you got where you came from. If you're content and you're comfortable, then you have to understand that somebody was uncomfortable at one time for you to be comfortable and content. And
Yes.
so you have to be able to say, I got to look out for who's coming behind me because somebody in front of me looked out for me coming behind them. And that's not what we're doing. We don't do, we're not serious. We're not a serious people right now. And I don't know what it's going to take. It might take for them to put us back in shackles or something. I don't know. For to wake people up, you know, and if Trump gets in there, then shit, then the process starts all over again. Because see, when we've gained so much over the last 50 years that people are jealous of that, and you got certain people who have not moved, and they're in a class below the African American, and they feel like they should be a class above, and that their people are, but they aren't, and they feel like anybody but us. So you know, that's just my take on the message to the black man that you know it is needed. It needs to be said. Something needs to motivate these guys to get out and go vote. I don't care whether it's cold, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing. Get your ass out and vote. It is too important for and for you not to. There's too many sacrifices that have been made in the past 50 years for you not to, and for you to even think about voting another way is just preposterous. You know, what's your take?
Well, I do agree with what you're saying because when you can look back at 50-year-old laws that were put in place and everybody was complacent, thinking, you know, Roe versus Wade would never be overturned, you know, and there's a lot of laws that have been put in place for us, you know, the voting rights law, civil rights law. and they've been chunking away at those laws for over a decade. And it won't take anything but the right climate. So that means Project 2025 to get ignited when or if uh, Trump is elected. And it doesn't matter whether you've been reading, whether you read one page of 2020 or Project 2025, or you read all of the pages and still don't believe that this could happen in America. Because we're seeing right now that people that should be standing up and people that should be blocking certain things, they're not. You know, these senators, they're not voting their conscience. They're not voting their people. They are voting their party. You know, so they're not voting for the good of all people. And when you can hear the former president say, well, everybody wanted Roe versus Wade to go back to the states, that's a lie. Because 80% of the United States, and that includes Republicans, Democrats, and independents, wanted that just to be a law, on the books, steady. And that is the reason why the Republicans have been losing for the last 2 years at the state level. But we do need to have a conversation with a lot of Black men, because I've been hearing more Black men that I'm comfortable with, saying, oh, I'm not voting for neither one of them. Well, sitting your Black behind on the couch means that you are voting for somebody, and then the ones that say that I'm voting for Trump, and I'm like, but tell me why. But tell me why. And then they sound like a talking point for the Republicans. And I'm like, how? Please tell me how. And then I just turn off my ears because they sound so insane. We have there's a whole voting block that live in Beaumont, Texas. I'm calling them out. There's a whole bunch of Black men that live in Beaumont, Texas. And I feel like they are so ignorant. They're ignorant to the history, and they're even ignorant. They can't tell me two things that Donald Trump is going to do for them, and they have the nerve to be members of the union. I mean, and he's been talking about the union. Right now, they are journeymen. So they're over there making double time, overtime, and everything down there in Florida. And Donald Trump just said maybe about 5 days ago that he would fight to take away overtime. He don't pay overtime. So, I mean, make it make sense, Julius.
It don't make sense. You vote. If you don't vote, you're still voting, like you said, because it counts against you putting a vote for change for your people. See, we become so selfish. See, Sandra, I said it the other day on the Rabble. We are selfish. It's a plan that has been put in place over the last 50 years to condition us to be in the mental state that we're in as a people. Because if we were to do what we're supposed to do, then we could effect change. They didn't want that. They knew that we were on the rise, that our numbers were increasing. and that if you have people that are in the lower class that's below us, they wouldn't vote. And if we're in the middle class where we have been going for the last 50 years, then and we voting us being a big voting block, it would change things because those lower class people in the lower class wouldn't vote because they're mad or dissatisfied with the system, and we become powerful. But so they had to put a plan in place. This is a diabolical plan. It might sound like I'm a conspiracy theorist here now. No, this is a plan that has been put in place with the projects, putting us in the project, putting welfare in front of us. Everything that they put in front of us, all those were plans. These are plans to make sure that we're controlled. And even with this here being lazy, when we get content and we got black men don't go vote because they're content, they don't want to get out the house and do it, then they got all kind of mechanisms. Because then you also see all those things. They probably got 10 or 15 things, ways of getting us in a position of control, and then also being a convicted felon and not being able to vote. All kinds of things that they put it, these roadblocks. You don't vote for 3 consecutive terms. They can purge you from the voting list. From the voting rolls. It's all kinds of things. So and believe me, it's a plan to make sure that we don't vote, because wherever our vote goes, that's where the win is. If we do in the numbers that we're in. So we're a large voting. We just got to know our power. We don't know our power. We know, me and you, but I'm talking about and people that are aware, but the ones on the outside that don't vote, they don't understand their power. There's a lot of power that they have and we're not utilizing.
Exactly. And I think that it was very timely. Well, it was poignant that Magic Johnson and President Obama, get out there. But I feel like they came to the party late. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of our middle age, from I say between the ages of 35 and 49-year-olds, they're listening to Johnson, Dr. Johnson, and they're listening because they feel like if I listen to Umar, I'm plugged in. And whereas Umar, sometimes he has great points, but I feel like telling Black African Americans not to vote, that is the sickest thing that you can do to your culture, and that's what he's been pushing for the last year and a half. And there's been no voices against him. And there's this other guy right here in Houston, and he has a big following for African dysphoria. You know who I'm talking about? And he has a lot of shows, and people send me his messages all the time, talking about, oh no, we shouldn't be voting, and definitely we shouldn't be voting for Kamala Harris. And then just recently he was talking about how and it was fake, but 2 years ago he was talking about how Kamala Harris them lied, about sending FEMA money over to the immigrants. And let me take the time real quick, Julius, just to explain this. So back in 2022, when we were pulling out of Afghanistan, we we had to put some money in place for these immigrants that we were rescuing from Afghanistan. Okay. So what the federal government does when they allocate money, they can't just send the money from the White House. Okay. They have to put it in one of these federal budgets. They have to put it in the most the most appropriate federal budget. Okay, so if this was a housing thing and there was an emergency need for housing, they'd probably put it in HUD. Okay, so what they did is they added a line item to FEMA in 2022 for them to give out grants and emergency funding to places like KBR, Boeing, and different federal contractors that could put things in place for these immigrants that were going to be coming in. KBR built a whole immigrant city, like a mini city in 1 week to house these immigrants. And that's what they were talking about when they said, oh, they're taking FEMA money and giving it to the immigrants. No, they're not taking emergency hurricane funding and giving it to the immigrants. They're not doing that, people. And if you have been impacted, and I'm telling all these Black men that's talking about this, they giving our money to the immigrants and we can't even do nothing because they giving it to them. No, they're not.
What do they think Donald Trump gonna give it to? Donald Trump is gonna give it to all his friends. They're gonna get all the tax breaks and everything else. That issue is not even worth explaining to people. If they think that is true, then they're unreachable anyway, Sandra. They're unreachable. There's no reason for us to even explain it to them. You just wasted 2 or 3 minutes of your life explaining it to people.
When Trump was in office, he was the one that cut the FEMA budget.
Yeah. During
the time that what was it? The Dominican Republic was having that terrible storm. And it took those people over a year and a half some of them didn't even have power in over a year. When he went out there and threw paper towels at them, craziness.
Well, we got to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to answer this question right here for Ivan Cohen, one of our faithful watchers. He asked, what is y'all's take on Trump saying he wouldn't tax tips? So we'll be right back in about 1.5, 2 minutes, and then we'll, if we over there, then we'll, I don't know where my engineer at today. We can get over. Okay, there it is. And we'll be right back in 1 second, y'all.
Hey there. Are you ready to amplify your voice and embrace your passion? Tune in to Our Black Media Network, where community comes first and every story matters. We're here 24/7, delivering powerful content on everything from financial literacy to the latest in sports and mental health. We are unapologetically real, reflecting the heartbeat of our community with programs that inspire, empower, and drive change. Join us on all major media platforms to celebrate our unique voices and advocate for the change we want to see. With over 50K monthly viewers, our network is your go-to destination for authentic, engaging content. Be a part of the movement. Be a part of the change. Tune in to Our Black Media Network today and let your voice be heard.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Cole.
Okay, we back, and we're gonna get, like I said, we're gonna get to Ivan's question. Ivan's question was, "What is y'all's take on Trump saying he wouldn't tax tips?" I think Trump is full of shit. Um, he doesn't have any control over what is being taxed. He has to have the House and the Senate to agree on a whole lot of things, and if they're not in agreement, Trump can't do a damn thing with no executive order to kill tips, taxes on tips or anything else. He can't do nothing. He's just trying to appease people with all his lies. He's saying that the African American community and the Spanish community, the Hispanic community is we're losing jobs because we're letting all the immigrants in. Trump is going to say whatever he needs to say because all he knows how to do is lie. So what's your take on this?
Well, and he's assuming that all of us work as restaurant, people and in the service area. I mean, some of us have professional jobs. I'm not affected by taxes on tips. Tell me that you're going to cut my taxes the same way you cut your friends' taxes. And then you might you might have my ear. But if you just talking about you going to cut taxes on tips, do you know that people have been getting paid tips in cash forever? And the tips that they get in cash are not taxed. Stupido.
Because they're not reported. They're not going to report it. Exactly. You give me a $20 tip, I'm going to go and tell you I got a $20 tip. Really?
Exactly. I mean, the person that does my nails, she always asks me, Chandra, if you will come in here, and because I give her a $20 tip every time, she say, Chandra, please bring cash. I mean, and I understand why, but a lot of times here in Houston, it doesn't pay to have cash on you. You can get killed having cash, so it is what it is. But yeah, he's assuming, and that is him talking down to us. That's what he mean by them black jobs. I mean, he's racially profiling to assume that, all you black people, all you Mexican people, all you immigrants, all y'all doing is serving tables and being somebody's handmaid. So this is what I'm gonna do for you. Yeah. I'm not gonna tip your tax. I mean, I'm not gonna tax your tips.
Yeah. He is he's gonna say whatever they think that he needs to say. He doesn't care that it's a lie. All he's doing is lying. See, my problem is that the news media hasn't checked him the way that he needs to be checked, and they've only recently started. And going back to Magic and Obama, I think that they started a little late with what they're doing with the message to the black male voters, because they should have started so that get enough of them to go register. It's past that deadline now. I guess what they're talking to now is those that are already, so they're pinpointing those that are registered to vote that can go vote, but they should have started 60 days ago so they could have started getting those guys to register to vote. And there's a lot of laws that need to be changed. They got all kind of roadblocks in front of us. And we just have to hurdle all over the top of those roadblocks. But that's just part of the two Americas. Our next thing, we got two Americas. We got laws for African American, Black people in this country, and you have laws for all the rest of the people in this country. Or you might can say that they have laws for people of color, and then all the rest.
They have treatment for how they issue out the laws.
Well, yeah, right. The treatment for those laws. The laws are the laws. How they put them in effect is different. Because, and I'm not a big fan of Sean Puffy Combs. Sean Puffy Combs is a big damn idiot who was a freak. And that's how I feel about him. He could have did so much more with his money than throw a damn party every damn week. He could have did so much more. He could have, I don't know. I think he was asking for help for doing what he was doing, because you could have had those parties without all those people. What was his? What was he thinking? He's just a dumbass. But anyway, getting back to two Americas. Although I'm not a fan of his, you still have to look at it in fairness. To put the fairness clause in it, because anybody else could get a bond. Why not give him a bond? If he run, that's on y'all for not looking at it. But you've got bonds in place and bail in place just so a person can put up collateral against them appearing in court. So everybody else can get it. You can give it to Bubba. You can give it to Weinstein. You can give it to all these people who shouldn't have it also. Puffy can't have it. He has the money. You'll be able to take everything he owns. He's a billionaire. And he's just as dumb, went and paid $48 million to pay off his house the other day, right before they arrested him. But he don't understand. You're dealing with the feds. They come get you. No, it don't matter what you paid for. If they know it was yours, they're coming to take it. If they know that you used money that they could have got, they're coming to take it. It don't matter what you paid off. They coming to take it. That's just how the system works.
Yeah.
But it's two Americas. And like I said, I'm no big fan of his. Never was. I've never been a fan of his or Jay-Z. I've never been a fan of him and Jay-Z. But the system has to work for everybody. It has to show that it's fair. And if you can't give this man a bail, how can you justify giving the murderers a bail? Of course, he might have had a couple of murders with Tupac and Biggie, but we don't know for sure, and he's never been charged with it. So the system still comes back in to being fair. You have to be fair with it. They're not being fair with the administration of justice when you're saying that you're going to hold this man in there and hoping that he commits suicide, because there's so many people out there. See, when he gets back out, let me tell you what happens. When he gets back out, because they're going to give him bail eventually. When he gets back out, then he gets to say, and I don't want to go back in there. I got to give some people up. They don't want him to give those people up. See, in there, he's muffled. If he ever make it to trial, I hope it don't be a Weinstein, Epstein type case. I'm hoping it don't be that type of thing, because there's always a possibility of life, of another life. You're looking at it right now, so there's always a possibility. So don't give up. Nobody, I don't care what you did or who you are. You can't give up. You can always change your life and be something. But anyway, what's your take on two Americas and how they're treating Puffy compared to all the other people?
Well, me, just like, I really don't care that they keeping him in jail, to tell you the truth. But you do see the difference. I right over here in Houston, murderers get out of jail every day. here in Houston. You can post bail here in Houston for murder. You know, this one guy shot this girl 16 times in the park, and they gave him a it was something extremely low. It was like $100,000 bond, and all he had to do is put up 2% of that, and he was walking free until he decided to shoot somebody else. So yeah, that happened. But I mean, so you think about those things, and yes, you feel like it should be fair and free across the board, because if they have already taken his passport, and all a bond is, just like you said, is something to make sure that you're going to come back to court, show up back to court. Hey, they could put an ankle monitor on him and send him on home. You know, tap his phones the way I feel like they have been doing in the first place. So it's those kind of things that make you wonder, what is the overall motive? Because it's my opinion that the overall motive is just to demean, embarrass, to just really embarrass us, and then take everything that we have and show us that you have no power. We can do anything that we want with you guys, you know, because you have no power, you know. And I really feel like his legal team should be, you know, making this statement, because Eric Adams, he was just indicted 2 weeks ago for, you know, conspiracy with the Turkish government, taking illegal funds. And they said that holds a prison system, a prison sentence of 24 years or 35 years. I don't know which one. But if his prison sentence is going to hold as many years as Puffy's, why isn't he in the same jail that Puffy is in?
Well, yeah. I guess they look at flight risks. They're saying that Puffy has the resources and the ability to flee and not be seen again, and go to a country that doesn't have extradition. And that's what it is. That he can.
They have already taken his
passport.
Even if he was to land in one of those countries, he could not, you know, he couldn't stay.
Well, yeah, and then you know where I think he'll go at?
Where?
Russia.
I doubt it.
Yeah, he'll go to Russia, because he'll feel like, you know, hey, I might want to go over here. I could be the biggest freak in the world.
Let me tell you something. You know, anybody that thinks that Russia is a country that welcomes Black people, they don't.
No, it's not that. It'll be a spite in the face of America for Putin to accept him. Even Donald Trump, I wouldn't put it past him fleeing a few days after the election when he lose, you know, because he going to jail. John, you going to jail. You're going to get just what Puffy got. You know, you going to jail if you don't win. That's why he's all out. He figured he got to go ballistic. He's already pressed the button. All the things that he's saying, he's trying to get all the racist America out to help him not end up in jail. That's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I doubt. You know, I highly doubt that he will ever see the inside of a jail because of what you just said. You know, the two Americas. You know, I mean, only in America will we ever see, because if this was Obama, and Obama had been not just accused, but convicted of 34 felonies, do you think that he would still be on the campaign trail?
Oh no, they would have crucified him. He would have felt the pressure to leave. And then guess what? This is how torn you know it is. Had it been anybody else, not just Obama, they would have understood that they respect the laws and they respect the people. Trump don't respect the laws. He don't respect the people. He don't feel the pressure. The only pressure he feels is that he's going to go to jail if he doesn't win. So he's getting ready to start something that might unalive a lot of people if they act foolish when he loses. He don't care about their lives. He wants them to act up in his behalf. You see, he's getting them ready to act up on his behalf. So that he can probably try to divert all the attention away from that, and somebody say, okay, well, let's give him a pardon, or let's do this here, so he won't, no, if you're fool enough to die for this idiot who is nothing but trash, then you's a damn fool, and you need to be wherever you're at if you fool enough to do that.
I stopped watching the news.
Huh?
I said I stopped watching the news. I tuned in for Obama, Obama's speech to the people, because that's my favorite president. But I have not been watching the CNN polls, nobody's polls, because I don't believe them, and it will have you at a heightened level of afraid if you listen to, okay, this is what the Hispanics are doing, and this is what the black men are doing, and this is what this is who the black women going with, and
Sandra, you got to get your information from somewhere. We try to tell people to get it from here. From us, we'll watch the news and we'll give you the information. We try to tell people that, but you also have to understand that you have to get information from somewhere. So watching the news is not bad. You have to be able to get your information. You just can't watch news that's so slighted that isn't going to tell you the truth. You ought to be able to, if anybody with any intelligence with a 40 IQ should understand that, and to get a 40 IQ, all you got to do is be able to write your name. You ought to be able to discern whether somebody's telling you the truth or not. You ought to be able to discern whether it is good for you or not. And if you're looking at Fox News, which is one way of trying to tell you some bull, I mean, look at all the other news stations. Now, one that I'm really kind of sad with is CNN. It seems like they have gone to the middle. They've gone to the middle, and they're staying right there in the middle. I don't even watch them no more. I used to love CNN until MSNBC came along, but they've gone to the middle. And CNN used to be able to tell you and put pressure on these politicians, but they don't do that no more. They've gone to the middle, and they're not putting any pressure on anybody. But I understand the news. And the only way that they can make money is to sensationalize things. If it ain't sensationalized, if it ain't got those 4 or 5 elements of beauty, sex, money, death, some craziness, if it isn't spectacular, then it doesn't sell in the news. And I understand that. But if you can't put the pressure down, they say something about Trump and then they let it go. So Trump knows this. They're going to say
Yeah.
it, but then they're not going to stay on it. And then he
Yeah.
ignores them. Instead, you can't let go. He couldn't treat me the way he treats those reporters in the room, because I'm gonna be very disrespectful to him, and I'll lose my job being a reporter because I'm gonna be very disrespectful to him, because I'm gonna call you, man, you're an idiot. How could you say something so dumb? Don't let him talk to you and say you're nasty. He talks to these people bad, and they sit there and take it.
Mhm.
No, I'm gonna talk to you just as worse as you talk to me.
Yeah.
You don't get
And
no
see,
respect unless you show respect.
Ever since, and you are right, Julius, ever since they changed, when Don Lemon and Como used to be on CNN, I think that they had better integrity, of news reporting. I can't say that they reported everything, but they had better integrity. Now, for me, I don't have to tune in to CNN. I tune in. I'll look at MSNBC. I might watch the world news sometimes, but I do not look at the sensationalization of those polls that they want to put up with CNN, saying, okay, well, if she doesn't win this, and this, there's no path to the White House, and this, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna pray, and we just gonna let God do what he's gonna do. That's at the end of the night, we can only do as much as we can do. And I will tell anybody, go to early voting. Don't let these people trick you into waiting until November the 5th to go and vote. Go to early voting.
That's next. We'll be right back, and then we're going to go to our last subject. We'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Patty Hewitt, and I'm worried about our future.
Last one?
I think about my grandkids and the belief that they deserve every opportunity. And what you deserve, what coastal Georgia deserves, is someone who cares more about their community than about corporate profits and big pharma.
I'll see you later.
All right, thank you. Small business owners and hardworking Georgians are the heart of our community.
Have a good day.
Not CEOs, not lobbyists, not shareholders, but who's taking care of them? It's time to ask yourself, what do you want from your government? This is our year to stand up against what we know is wrong. No more DC politicians invading our home life. No more racism that kills dreams and spreads violence. And no more corporate greed at the expense of workers' rights and our environment.
So what would be the most meaningful help to you?
I've spent the last 8 years working behind the scenes, mobilizing our communities for positive change. And while that is really important work, I can't stand by and allow the same tired politicians to run this country, the same ones who've neglected the real needs of Georgians. I'm ready to take our seat in Congress so I can fight for you and your families.
I vote for you.
Thank you, my darling. I love you. This isn't about party lines. This is about voting for a better future for more Georgians. Enough is enough.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
Okay, we're back. And we got one subject left for y'all, and that subject is uh, why is the election so damn close? Why is the election so damn close? You got 48 in one state, 49, 48 in another state, 50, 47, 49, 46. How is it that Trump is this close, being that he's an idiot? How is it? Please, a convicted felon, a molester, a fraud, a tax cheat, a business cheat, a rapist, a racist, and a narcissist. And above all that, a damn liar. And he's got some ugly ass hair. He's not even attractive. You know, I threw that last part.
Well, I think that when you look at the two people in the race, okay, the United States is still divided deeply by race, okay? And when you can scare people into the unknown, you know, when you can scare people into the unknown, that is what that 48% represents. That 48% represents, I don't want a woman to be president. I don't want a black woman to be president. You know, I'll go with the rapists. I'll go with the scam artists. I will choose anything but a woman, or I'll choose anything. I mean, this woman is intelligent. She has a resume that will wrap around this idiot's resume, because he has no resume.
Yeah, say she's the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
Exactly. You know, but the thing is that some people will vote against their own best interests, you know, because here she has come out with policy. She has said, this is what I want to do for the working class. And if most of us are part of the working class, this is what I want to do for people on Medicare and Medicaid or Medicare.
First-time home buyers.
First-time home buyers. I mean, all of these things will impact you or somebody in your immediate life.
Mm-hmm.
People that want to have business owners. Yes.
$50,000 to open up. Yeah.
You know, so make it make sense. The only thing that makes sense in this whole thing, when you think about it, is the fact that I cannot, you know, these men that I was telling you from Beaumont, they can't see themselves sitting up under a woman as a president, even though they sat up under their black mothers and sons, you know, and they fared out okay, but you can't see yourself being subjugated to a intelligent black female, even though she has committed to make some things in your life a lot better. A lot better. Give you access to things that you never thought that you would have access to. But you sitting up there with your dumb black self saying, but she put a lot of people in, she put a lot of black men in prison. Dumbo, if I was a pancake maker at the Waffle House and years later somebody said, but she made a lot of pancakes. Well, hell, that was my job. That was my job. If she is a DA, unlike the DA that y'all have, if that's my job to put criminals in jail, she did her job. And she didn't just go snatching folk off the street and say, okay, I'm gonna convict you of something. That she needed the police first to arrest them for something, and then for the investigator to do a job, meaning investigated, and then they bring the file over to the DA's office, and then the DA, they take it in front of a grand jury, and then the grand jury brings back, yes, we should take this to the trial.
Right, a true bill. But and that's what I don't understand about some people. We have one of our hosts that is she's hell bent on not having Kamala also, like she grew up with her Noah or something.
She took her boyfriend.
Took her boyfriend or locked her up or something unfairly. I don't know why she's so hard, but you have to realize that those people put themselves, most of them, if you got 1% that was convicted, wrongly convicted, wrongly jailed, or wrongly charged, then that's the 1%. The 99% of those other people were put in jail because they were doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing. And you can't, take it from somebody who's been there. It's a lot of people deserve to be in jail. I've been around a bunch of them. That was just on the federal level, which is a higher level. The federal level is a high class prison system. The state prisons are the lower class prison system. See, in this federal level, everybody is in there for trying. 95% of the people in federal prison is in there for trying to make money. 95% of the people in federal prison is in federal prison for trying to make money.
True.
The state prisons, they're in there for taking somebody's life, causing harm to somebody, or trying to take money. It's different. Two levels of prisons. They're totally different. You're in there for trying to make money in the feds. You're in there for trying to take money in the state prison. So it's a big difference. Big difference. And people just don't know that. They think all prison is prison. It's not. Even though you're away from your home, but all prison ain't prison. All the stuff that you see on state prison with the rape and all that don't happen in the feds. It don't happen. No, not like y'all see on TV. No, don't happen. A lot of the stuff that you see don't happen in the federal prison that happen in the state. But anyway, getting back, that's another subject. We got to go out and vote. That's number one. You have to do your research. Black men, you have to wake up. You got one damn day to go do what you need to do. One day. Early voting in Georgia starts Monday. Go vote. Go vote. All you got to do is just take a few minutes. You don't want to stand in that line? Pick your day. You got 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks of early voting. Then you go vote. If you miss all those days, you still got one more chance on November the 5th. Early voting starts Monday. Go do your job. Get off your ass. Stop being lazy. If you don't like what I said, you just don't like what I said. I'm talking to you. Because if you voting, I can't be talking to you. You're already doing your job.
I mean, do it for somebody else. If you don't need a new, if you're not a first time home buyer, fine. If you're not a first time person to get a business, or you don't want a business, somebody that does. Somebody that's elderly in your family and can use, extended health care, I mean, because we all have parents that are aging. And what she said the other day when she said that we're going to be able to use Medicare to hire people to come into the house and take care of our aging parents, that's what we need. We need that. I mean, so you guys do your civic duty. That's all I can say. Have a great weekend, Julius. I'll see you in about a week and a half.
Okay, and y'all tune in tonight to Pastor Smalls at 6, and then Grover Thornton at 7:30. Pastor Smalls at 6, Grover Thornton at 7:30, America After Dark at 9. 6, 7:30, and 9. America After Dark is at 9. 6, 7:30, and 9 p.m. We got 3 more shows. 6, 7:30, and 9. All live shows today. Tune in. We love you.
Good show.
Oh, I ain't ended.